A long story. Do you know Vikings beat Columbus? Let me spin this into a sweeping narrative that blends history, myth, and imagination, because the truth is both fascinating and poetic. The Vikings did reach the Americas centuries before Columbus, and the story of how they beat him is one of daring seas, forgotten sagas, and rediscovered truths. The call of the sea. Long before Columbus dreamed of crossing the Atlantic, the Norse seafarers Vikings from Greenland and Iceland were already pushing their dragon-proud ships into the unknown. Around the year 1000, Leif Erikson, son of Eric the Red, set sail westward. Guided by whispers of land beyond the horizon, he braved icy waters and storms that would have crushed lesser men. Their ships were marvels of engineering, sleek, flexible, able to ride waves like living creatures. Unlike Columbus's lumbering caravels, Viking longships could dart into fjords, skim shallow coasts, and survive the wrath of the northern seas. Vinland, the forgotten world. Leif and his crew landed on a place they called Vinland, a land rich with wild grapes, forests, and game. Archaeologists now believe this was Newfoundland in modern Canada. They built houses, explored rivers, and clashed with the native peoples they encountered. For a brief moment, Europe had touched the Americas 5 centuries before Columbus. But the Viking settlements were fragile. Distance, hostility, and the pull of home dragged them back across the ocean. Vinland faded into legend, preserved only in sagas sung by firelight. The silence of centuries. For hundreds of years, the world forgot. Columbus's voyage in 1492 became the celebrated discovery, written into textbooks and crowned with royal patronage. The Vikings' achievement was buried under myth, dismissed as folklore. Columbus was hailed as the man who opened the New World, while Leif Erikson lingered in the shadows of history. Yet the sagas endured. Icelandic storytellers whispered of Vinland, of voyages beyond the edge of maps. And in the 20th century, archaeologists uncovered the ruins at Lanzio Meadows in Newfoundland, proof that the sagas were true. The Vikings had indeed beaten Columbus. Vikings versus Columbus, a tale of 2 discoveries, the Vikings, explorers, warriors, poets. Their discovery was raw, fleeting, and almost mythical. They touched the Americas, but did not transform them. Columbus, navigator, opportunist, herald of empire. His voyage reshaped the world, unleashing colonization, conquest, and the collision of civilizations. So, who really discovered America? The answer depends on what you mean by discovery. The Vikings were first. Columbus was remembered. One brought sagas, the other brought empires. A story retold. Imagine a fireside in medieval Iceland. A skald leans forward, eyes gleaming, and asks, "Do you know Vikings beat Columbus?" The listeners laugh, for Columbus is centuries away. But the skald continues, "One day, people will forget our voyages. They will crown another man as the discoverer. Yet the sea remembers. The stones of Vinland remember. And someday, the world will remember too." And indeed, the world did. The Vikings beat Columbus not just in time, but in spirit. They proved that the ocean was not a wall, but a bridge. Their story reminds us that history is not always what is written. It is what is remembered, rediscovered, and retold.